Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you all to all the loyal fans listening into this pilot Colonials Fan Forum call. We'd like to thank you for being on it. And this is the first time at it for the GW Athletics Department, so please bear with us. We hope it's a great experience for everybody on this call. My name is Jesse Hooker. I'm the Assistant Sports Information Director here at George Washington, and I'm inside the glass-enclosed PNC Media Room here on the lower level of the Charles E. Smith Center with our advertised guests. This afternoon, we're joined by new Director of Athletics and Recreation, Patrick Nero, new men's basketball head coach, Mike Lonergan, and guards Lasan, Kromah, and Toney Taylor from the men's basketball team. Welcome to all four of you, and thanks for taking the time out today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a lot of ground to cover in this half hour that we're going to try to fit in. We have some initial questions for our guests. We'll have some fan questions, some fan polls, and some information about the upcoming 2011-2012 schedule. But first, I'd like to send it over to the brains behind this call, Dave Earle from Colonial Sports Marketing. He's going to give everyone on the call some instructions about how you can get the most out of the call today.
Fans, we want to welcome and thank you once again for joining us here on the Colonials Fan Forum. If you're interested in asking a question of any of our participants, Patrick Nero, Mike Lonergan, Lassan, Kromah, or Toney Taylor, please feel free to press *3 on your phones at any time. You'll be then transferred to one of our call screeners and we'll add you to the question queue. We look forward to taking your questions, and we also want to remind you that we'll be happy to pick your orders for Colonials men's and women's basketball season tickets at any time during the call. Also, if you are a renewing fan who has not yet renewed your season tickets, we'll be happy to take care of that right away, and we'll be happy to answer your call and bring you right back to the fan forum as soon as you're done. To get to the box office, please press *0. Once again, that's *3 to ask a question and *0 to transfer to the box office. Thanks very much.
All right, we'll start off with some initial questions for everyone here, and we'll start off with Patrick Nero. You officially took office on July 1st, just over a month. In that short amount of time period, what have you been focused on accomplishing as the new athletic director here?
I think for the first month, the most important thing for me has been learning all about GW, learning about the people that I'm here to help and to take our program to where we want to go. And so my job right now really concentrates on 3 different areas. First, we have the health, wellness, recreation area for all of our faculty, staff, and students. Second, our club sports program, which is 900 students playing 32 sports. And then third, of course, our intercollegiate piece, which most people are familiar with, 22 teams, 450 student athletes. So I think on the intercollegiate piece, the most important piece right now, most important thing for me has been just getting to know our student athletes that are here this summer and trying to find what they need to be successful, talking to their coaches, talking to our strength and conditioning, our academic folks, and just saying what do we need to allow our student athletes to achieve athletically, academically, and in all parts of their GW experience.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick. And now we'll move on to Coach Mike Lonergan. Before coming to GW, you turned your alma mater, Catholic University, into a D3 national champion. You also helped turn Vermont into a perennial America East and NCAA tournament contender. What are your keys on establishing that type of consistent success and developing a proud basketball culture here at GW?
Well, I think we really need to get an enthusiastic fan base back in the Smith Center. We're going to have to rely on our faculty, staff, alumni, students, and just local residents to come to games and support these guys. We want to get more recognition in the media and DC area and nationally for what we do both on and off the court. And we want to regain GW's reputation as one of the stronger basketball programs in the country. And we want to play a fun style of play that's exciting to our fans. And really, just our staff is really working hard here with our current players to try to help these guys reach their goals.
All right, thank you, Coach. And next we'll move on to Lasan. Lasan, you missed all of last year with a foot injury. 2 years ago, though, we all got a glimpse of what you can do. You exploded onto the scene in the A10 and here at GW, and you earned A10 All-Rookie Team accolades. Now you're back healthy, you're back playing, and how does it feel to be, back in action and succeeding on the basketball court?
It feels real good. I've been in the weight room trying to get my legs stronger and doing rehab, trying to get back on the court. I've been good to play. I've been playing pickup with the guys 2 times a week, summer league at Georgetown, and I'm real excited for the season coming up. Coming back from injury, and everything's looking good and positive.
Okay, thank you. Now, Toney, we'll move on to you last. Last year, you led GW in scoring, assists, and steals. and you really stepped up as a leader during the team surge in the second half of last season. As you entered your final year, your senior season, tell us about what the team wants to accomplish this year and how you anticipate leading the team toward those goals.
I think the goal is to win more games. We got to win more games than we won last year. The goal is to get to Atlantic City. We've been working real hard to just maintain what we have and get better. And we just trying real hard. We're working real hard.
All right. Thank you, and thank you for all four of you for that first round of questioning. Send it over to Dave Earl now, and he's going to ask the first fan poll of this call this afternoon.
Fans, we talked a little bit with Toney about setting the expectations for the season. We want to talk about what you're hoping for the Colonials season. If you think that GW is going to go as far as the Atlantic 10 tournament, press 1 on your handset now or on your phone. If you think that this team is capable of being A10 champions, press 2. If you think this is an NIT squad, press 3. And if you're looking forward to an NCAA tournament game, press 4 on your phone now. We'll be answering those poll questions. We'll be tracking those stats, and we'll let you know as soon as possible what we'll be doing for what the fans think is going to happen for this team. A lot of confidence right now, according to the fan poll. We also now have our first caller, and we're going to ask a question about, I think, some scheduling and some scheduling philosophy. Mark Plotkin, welcome to the call. You're live right now on the Colonials Fan Forum. Can you hear us?
Yes. First of all, I want to applaud what you're doing. I think that's terrific. There used to be season ticket holders, or for that matter, luncheons with the coach. I hope that they could continue. For some reason, they were stopped, and I think it creates an esprit de corps. And I went to GW. I played tennis for GW, and so obviously I'm very interested in its success. But I asked this question when the AD was announced, and I said I was going to call him the first day on the job, giving him a month.
late.
So I think he knows what's coming. In Philadelphia, there's a city rivalry with the Big Five, and they all play each other. And it goes beyond basketball. It has to do with just sort of the spirit of a city. Georgetown has gotten away with murder by excusing themselves, exempting themselves, really, from playing GW. When I went to GW in the 60s, we played every year. I wonder if, Mr. Nero, you have picked up the phone, called your counterpart at Georgetown, and I know it can't happen this year, but maybe next year or the year after. And failing that, I just want to add that the problem is John Thompson Sr., who has directed his son not to play us. Why the holdup, and how can we remedy this, or at least embarrass or shame them into playing and creating a city rivalry?
Mark, thank you so much. And before we answer that question, I just want to say thank you for being our first caller. And because you did have the bravery to be our first question, we'll be in touch with you later today, and you're going to have AD's club passes for one of our games this upcoming season. Thanks very much, and we'll turn it over to Patrick.
I'm a season ticket holder anyway, so.
Well, then we'll make sure that you get some time in the club before the game. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. I had an opportunity this past weekend to spend some time with Lee Reed, who's the AD at Georgetown, as well as Keith Gill, who's the AD at American. We've discussed this before. I would love to play Georgetown. I would love to play as many local teams as we could. I think it's great for DC. I think it's great for college basketball. That being said, that's Georgetown's decision. They make the schedule for Georgetown. I understand the challenges that they have. We'd love to play them, but we understand if they can't find room on their schedule for us, then that's their decision. They do what's best for their program, and we'll continue to do what's best for GW.
And along the lines of playing non-conference games, at this time we'd like to give our loyal fans listening in on this call some special insider information, and you'll be the first ones receiving some of these games that the Colonials will be playing during the non-conference portion of the 2011-2012 schedule. Lining up, GW will be going on the road to compete in the CBE Classic. Andy Katz from ESPN has tweeted that the brackets will be out on Thursday, so fans can look forward to that. GW will be going to either Georgia, Missouri, or Cal to compete in the CBE Classic, so stay tuned tomorrow and you'll be able to find the CBE Classic brackets, according to Andy Katz from ESPN. GW will also be traveling to Boston to face Harvard. Harvard played in the 2011 postseason NIT last March, and as previously announced by Kansas State and Syracuse, GW will be going to play the K-State Wildcats and Syracuse Orange on the road. Those were both NCAA tournament teams last year. Syracuse is a preseason top 5, also according to ESPN. Coming to the Charles E. Smith Center this year will be Loyola, Maryland, where Coach Lonergan will square off against his former Catholic teammate and Greyhounds head coach Jimmy Patsis. Old President's Day rival and 2011 CBI participant James Madison. UAB will come to the Smith Center. UAB reached the NCAA tournament last year. BCU will be GW's opponent in the BB&T Classic at the Verizon Center. The VCU made it all the way to the Final Four last year as a Cinderella story. And the Colonials will host Bowie State in an exhibition, UMES, Delaware State, and Bradley to highlight some of the other home games here at the Charles E. Smith Center. And I guess I'll turn it over to Coach Lonergan now about, Coach Lonergan and Patrick, about your scheduling philosophy and what you tried to do with the schedule coming up this season.
Well, scheduling is very difficult. You know, it's difficult at this level, and you know, when you return 4 starters, it becomes even more difficult to get teams to come on the road. As we know, a lot of the big schools don't really go on the road. They play guarantee games, and some schools don't leave their home arena until late January. So it's not that easy. We'd love to play a challenging schedule. I think our schedule has definitely been upgraded, and we're excited about that. We're trying to schedule more schools from BCS conferences to play home and homes. It's great for our fans, and I really believe, I've always believed, the tougher you schedule, the better you are at the end of the season when your conference tournament rolls around. So we definitely have upgraded the schedule. We're really excited. Kansas State, VCU, Syracuse, and possibly Cal, Georgia, Missouri. Some of these other teams, Loyola will probably be picked 2nd or 3rd in their conference. James Madison's coming off a pretty good year. So those are things we're still working on, and Mr. Nero is working on for the future. But it's not just as easy as saying that you want to play this team, you know, or that team. So I am excited about the luncheons. I hope Mark will take me to lunch. I'd love to start those luncheons again.
You know, we're fortunate here that you know, we're all on the same page when it comes to scheduling, and whether it's the players or Coach Lonergan or myself. And it is one of the things when we're looking for a new basketball coach that we had conversations about. I think at GW, our expectation is to play a national schedule. We play in what we believe is the toughest non-BCS conference in the country, and we want to prepare our guys for that. Both in all of our sports, I know from speaking with student athletes throughout the years, they want to play tough schedules. They want to challenge themselves against the best. That's the only way they're going to get better. And I know from a fan standpoint, they want to see great games. And so we're all on the same page, and that'll be our philosophy moving forward. We want to play exciting schedules, the best that we can to get home and homes, because we want our fans to get that opportunity. We want our young men and women to have that opportunity to play in front of the home crowds. But we'll do the best that we can to be as aggressive as we can, because I think that's how we get better, and that's where GW belongs.
Right, and I think we've certainly maximized the schedule both home and away for this upcoming non-conference season. So we'll send it over to Dave now with the results of our first poll.
Yeah, you know, we have a very confident fan base. It's nice to see that a lot of our fans, if you include the fact that our A-10 championship would include an automatic berth to the NCAA tournament, we have about 49% of our fans think that this is an NCAA tournament team. 33% say that the NIT is well in the sights of the GW Colonials, and 18% of you think that the Atlantic 10 tournament will be the way that the Colonials finish their season this year. We're going to change over right now to our next fan poll question, which translates real nicely with the schedule. But first, I also wanted to remind fans that if you want to ask a question, I know we have a couple in the queue that we'll be getting to very, very shortly. Press *3 to ask any question that you might like to any of our participants in this fan forum. Thanks so much for all your questions so far, and we'll have the next poll question in a moment. Now is probably a good time to introduce our next question before we take our scheduled poll question. We're going to welcome in Peter Claren right now, Coach, and we're going to talk a little bit about recruiting and the way we're the objectives for the team. Peter, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Peter, welcome to the Colonials Fan Forum.
Thanks very much. Coach, I'm a longtime fan of GW. I'm a faculty member at GW for a lot of time, a lot of years, and follow the team closely. I congratulate you for your record and accomplishments at Catholic and also at Vermont. So my question has to do with the composition of this year's team. We seem to have a lot of strength in the backcourt, and you have two of the best players on today, Toney and Lasan. But I think the front court, in my mind, is a little bit of a question mark. And since we've had some graduations there, and we need some replacements, and I'm wondering how you see the front court shaping up in the forthcoming season.
Well, that's a good question, Peter. And thanks for the call. I'm glad these guys are here, and you probably know as much about our current roster as I do because of NCAA rules. Until September, I'm not allowed to work with these guys on the gym floor, on the court. So just by studying stats and starting to watch film, we definitely have more depth in the backcourt, and with Joseph graduating, that's a big loss. So we're probably going to have to, be a little undersized at times, and we're going to have to create matchup problems by playing a lot of guards. We're trying to address, the front court issues through recruiting, but for this year, what we have is what we have to go with, and we're expecting big things from, a lot of guys, David Aaron and some of the guys, and some guys I won't say might have to play out of position, but we might have to play, 3 guards at a time, and sometimes it's, smaller lineup, and hopefully we'll create matchup problems for the opposition. But we might have to, double down in the post and do some things to keep a good quality post player from killing us this season.
Peter, thanks so much for your question, and especially because you're a faculty member, we're looking forward to the fact that we'll be in touch with you for a gift certificate to the gwsports.com store, and please make sure to wear your buff and blue when you're teaching class this fall. We'd like to now make sure to take our next fan poll question, and we talked a little bit about that non-conference schedule beforehand. Let's talk a little bit about what the best non-conference game that you see coming up on the schedule. Press 1 if you think the most exciting non-conference game for the Colonials is the game at Kansas State. Press 2 if you're looking most forward to the BB&T Classic game against VCU. Press 3 if you're most looking forward to GW's trip to the Carrier Dome, or press 4 if you're interested most in GW's game coming up at home against UAB, an NCAA tournament team. So we'll take those poll questions right now, and now we're going to also, while we're taking those answers, we're going to bring in Steve right now with a question about for Toney and Lasan. Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Welcome, Steve, to the call.
How you doing?
Doing okay. What's your question?
Lasan, I just want to know who you guys looking forward to playing the most this year, and why.
So you get to take our fan poll question yourself.
Well, this year, I think every game counts, and we need to win every game. That's how we're going to go into the season. As far as non-conference, I really want to go to Syracuse. That's going to be a big place to play, and it's going to be a big game for us. And one of my good friends plays on the team also, Theodore Jones, Moogie Jones. So I'm excited to play against them.
I would say I'll go same thing as Toney was saying. Every team that we play is it's a must. It's a have to win game, and just going to the Carrier Dome is a place that I would like to play. Somewhere go there and play a good team in Syracuse, and I haven't been there before, so it's gonna be a new experience.
And it'll be kind of a family affair with going up to Syracuse. As on Coach Lonergan's staff is Maurice Joseph, the brother of Syracuse guard Chris Joseph. So that'll be an interesting kind of play there up in the Carrier Dome. But this time I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. I want to go to Patrick, and I want to talk a little bit about women's basketball. You're past chair of the NCAA Committee on Women's Athletics and a member of the Board of Directors of the WBCA. So obviously you have a vested interest in women's basketball and women's athletics. GW just announced the women's basketball schedule, and it's quite the fan-friendly lineup with a lot of local teams.
It is, and similar to what we said about the men, and I'm hoping that we can do that throughout our program, is a challenging schedule that allows our teams, when they're having a very good year, to be in consideration for an at-large bid. Those are the types of schedules we want. So I'm very happy with the schedule Coach Bozeman put together, and I think it does bring in some of the country's better women's basketball programs into the Smith Center. And we need, we have a great tradition in women's basketball here at GW. We want to get back there, and we're only going to get back there if we continue to schedule that way and keep our program moving in the right direction. And that's what we're trying to do this year. We've got Rutgers coming in, we've got Auburn coming in. It's a pretty good schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, and fans, you can go to gwsports.com and go to the women's basketball page. You can find the non-conference schedule there with the likes of Georgetown, American, George Mason, Loyola, Maryland. So a lot of local teams involved in that non-conference schedule.
And we're happy to also sell you your women's basketball season tickets as well as your men's basketball season tickets. Once again, press *0 to transfer to the box office. And once again, if you'd like to ask a question, make sure to press *3, and our screeners are standing by to talk to you and get ourselves ready to take your questions. Just to finish the conversation a little bit about the schedule, the Carrier Dome is a very exciting place for our fans. 51% of you say that the Syracuse game is the one that's most exciting for you, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they'll be trying to put together a winning streak. They're 1-0 in their last game, and since 1994, when they of course beat Syracuse in their preseason NIT game in what was a very exciting game, and GW is going to try to make it 2 in a row this season. Now's a good time, if you don't mind. We're going to talk a little bit of X's and O's and do a little chalk talk with Coach Lonergan. We're going to welcome Chris Daichi to the conversation. Chris, what's your question?
Thanks for doing this. The first thing I wanted to tell Mr. Nero is to let you know how much we all appreciate in the fan base all the work that the marketing department has done, and particularly Dave. I think what he's done with the web interviews and Twitter and in-game promotions and other kinds of outreach, I think for me at least, has made a big difference, and we appreciate that. I just want to let you know that
Thank
we
you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
As far as my question is for Coach Lonergan, a lot of fans have been frustrated in the last number of years with sort of the offensive and defensive sets that were run previously. The wheel on offense, and oftentimes the full court press, which led to a very high degree of made three-point shots by our opposition. Do you have a sense yet as to what type of offense and defense are going to be your base formations?
Thanks for the call, Chris. We're going to run a lot of different offenses. We run a lot of NBA quick hitters and for our shooters, and we like to play up-tempo. We will press, but usually my teams press after made free throws only, not after every made basket. So we'll try to mix up our defenses and change our defenses, play a little 1-3-1 half-court traps, but predominantly we'll be a man-to-man half-court defensive team and play hopefully very good team defense. But I always like to say I don't keep the handcuffs on our guys, and offensively they will have freedom, and hopefully with our experience and the talent in the backcourt, we will be able to put up a lot of points, and we just got to do a better job of keeping the field goal percentage down for our opponents and keeping them off the foul line. Those are things I really believe in.
Chris, thank you so much for your question. We have a lot of questions coming in, and we'll make sure to be in touch with you later today because you've got a GW basketball t-shirt coming your way. What I'd love to also do now is welcome Scott to the call. Scott's got a question for Coach Lonergan. And Scott, I believe that you're involved with the Colonial Brass as well. Is that true?
That's true. Hi, Coach. This is Scott Thatcher. I'm the Vice President with the band this year, and we're really psyched for this season, really psyched to see what you guys are going to do, and for Coach Lasan's team as well. But my question is, and I know the students have to be very much involved in this as well, what is your plan for creating a culture between both the team and the students and just in general?
Well, I'd like to, get our guys. I talk to them all the time, and they hang out with each other, and that's what usually happens in college teams. But we want to make sure that they hang out with the regular student body as well. And I appreciate your hard work for GW, and we're going to have to rely on all the students, to come to games and support these guys. But our players are also going to support all the other students in different endeavors, and we're going to referee. Guys don't know that yet. We're going to referee a 3-on-3 basketball tournament held by some fraternities, and we're doing some community service tomorrow in the Shaw neighborhood of DC. So we're really going to try to be seen and really try to, make our fans and other students proud of their peers on the court and off the court as well. So we will definitely be out there, and anything we can do for your organization, please let me know.
All right, thank you, Scott, for your call. I just want to turn it over to Toney and Lasan real quick and just talk about, how exciting is it for you guys to play in front of a packed Smith Center? It got loud, in the Dayton game last year. It was a big win for you guys. And what's it like to play in that kind of atmosphere?
The crowd is our sixth man, and anytime we have a big crowd and the fans just energetic and just cheering us on, it gives us an extra boost. And I think that's what we need every single game, and we appreciate everyone coming out all the time.
Lasan, did you kind of miss that last year, kind of being on the bench after a great first year?
Yeah, definitely. Like during this year when I was still on the bench, just during the loud game, just during the games with the fans and support us and stuff, it just missed it a little bit. This year, hopefully, we have a lot of fans coming in and, you know, have a lot of support from them this year. It's really exciting for them to come to the games.
Scott, I want to let you know as well that I know that you're usually wearing a GW basketball jersey with the band every game, but when you're not wearing it in the stands, your Colonial brass uniform, we've got a Colonials number 20 jersey that we'll be setting up to send to you, so you'll be able to wear that proudly when you're not in the Smith Center, and so now you can alternate buff and white, which will be pretty nice for you. We have another question, and we're running just out of time. If you want to try to get your question in, press *3 now. We'll try to get the last couple questions in. But we do have Mark Lerner on the line. Mark, it sounds like you got a question for Coach about what's going on the recruiting trail.
I do. First of all, I want to say I'm Mark Lerner, but I'm not the Mark Lerner who owns the National.
We're going to ask you for money.
But I can tell you this. I've been to a lot more GW basketball games in the last 46 years than he has. So I'm looking very much forward to the upcoming season, and I'm convinced, and I've seen it before, when GW plays good basketball, when they play meaningful basketball, with this improved schedule, I have no doubt that the stands will fill up. So I don't really think that's going to be a problem. I really don't. And I'm excited. My question is related to recruiting. I think my calculation is that I think we have one scholarship left for this year. And my question is, are we going to look to fill that spot, or we're going to go? We're pretty much done right now with recruiting.
Well, thanks for the call, Mark. We're pretty much done. We definitely thought about using that scholarship, but unfortunately, guys that are usually available in June, July, there's a reason for it, and they just weren't the right fit for GW, and we weren't going to rush in anything. So we will have 4 scholarships for the following year. Our staff is working really hard right now to find the right guys for our program, and we're having kids and their families come on campus this month for unofficial visits, and hopefully, we'll have a very strong recruiting class. I think my assistant coaches are very well connected and great coaches and also great recruiters, and we have a lot to sell here with the academic reputation of the school and the tradition of our program. So these guys to my left will help with our recruiting when the kids come on campus, and the players are your biggest salesmen for the program. So I'm excited about recruiting and excited about this current season coming up. So recruiting is definitely a big thing, and we are anxious to sign some kids for GW.
Great, we have one last question. We're going to get that one taken care of, then we're going to sort of wrap up here. So fans, thank you so much, and don't forget to press *0 to order your season tickets, because I'm ready to buy mine, and I already have some, so I'm going to buy more now myself. But we have a question now coming in from Margaret about some scheduling philosophy in the future. Margaret, can you hear us?
Yeah. This is for Coach Lonergan. Would you consider playing the University of Vermont?
If you cheer for GW, Margaret, we will. And you should be in the library reading right now. But, so I think this is my daughter Margaret. So I'll see you in 12 days. And in the future, we'd love to play the Catamounts. It's a great place, and I'm sure they'd like to recruit our area, and they'd love to come down here. So someday that could be possible.
Margaret, thank you so much for your question, and we'll make sure that in 12 days you've got another GW basketball t-shirt waiting for you. Okay, Margaret?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hit *3 and buy your season tickets.
All right, that's about out of time now. It's 1 p.m., so you need to get back to work. Thank you for joining us during this lunch break, and just to wrap it up, I want to say thank you to all of our guests today. Dave Earl did a great job moderating it. Patrick, I know you want to wrap up with some few important facts to
Sure.
take home.
Just a wrap up for our fans. First of all, in regards to men's basketball, I can't tell you how proud you should be of this group of guys we have in here. They've been terrific through the transition. They've been working very hard, both our men's team and women's team this summer. Both teams are in summer school. They've been up early every morning working out, eating right. We're making sure of that. working together, and terrific leadership by Toney and Lasan. So I think we're going to have a great year from a basketball standpoint. And I will say, from an overall athletic department standpoint, we really only have one goal and one mission, and that is we feel we represent one of the greatest universities in the country and one of the greatest international universities. And our goal is to bring our athletic program to that level, team by team. And we need your patience, we need your support. And I really hope that over the next few years, you'll support all of our teams, not just men's and women's basketball, but all of the 450 student athletes that represent this great university. So we need your help. It's going to take time, but we promise we're going to deliver to you a program that every GW fan and alumnus can be very proud of. So thanks for today, and we look forward to meeting all of you over the coming years. Thank you.
Fans, thank you so much for your time, and I want to remind you, if you were not able because you were so busy listening to the call, if you want to order your season tickets today for men's or women's basketball, please don't hesitate to call 202-994-7325. We'll be able to take any of your questions, help you order your season tickets, and welcome you into the Smith Center this year as we try to raise high the buff and blue.
Fans, thank you for your call this afternoon, and thank you to our guests on the panel, and we look forward to seeing you at the Smith Center later this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.